My name is Ron Toombs. I'm KFAI's interim general manager. I've been a volunteer at KFAI since 1994, and we're going to be talking today about Pledge Drive. That is one of the main opportunities we have to raise funds for KFAI, your radio station, Fresh Air Radio, and we're going to talk about some of the best practices and what to avoid and what to expect on this, our summer pledge drive. First of all, it's a summer pledge drive. That alone should tell you this is an unusual, important, and unique event. No one can remember KFAI doing a summer pledge drive, but yet here we are. The summer pledge drive is 1 week long. The summer pledge drive is trying to fill a gap in our funding here at KFAI. All community radio stations, all arts organizations have had, in the last 2 years, have had challenging times, let's put it that way, to raise money. And that is what's driving, in part, our additional drive here at KFAI during the summer. The KFAI Summer Pledge Drive starts Wednesday, July 31st. It ends Tuesday, August 6th. Our theme is KFAI, Keep It Going. One of my our fellow volunteers told me when they heard about the name of the fact that we're having a 1 week drive during the summer, and the theme "Keep It Going" said that, can I read between the lines? And I said, you're free to read between the lines, all right. It's important for us to do it. It's important for us to make this drive a success. And I really love the theme of the drive that the staff came up with, and it really speaks to just what we expect from KFAI. And that we've got 41 years behind us, and we're most interested in the coming year, and then perhaps the 41 months after that. There's a couple things I want to talk about here regarding the obligations of KFAI program hosts. That's you. You have an opportunity here to be on the air every single week. We're in the 16th largest media organization city in the country. We have, as program hosts, we have nearly unfettered opportunities to do whatever we want in news, music, public affairs, community affairs, things that actually professional radio hosts could only dream of. You have that opportunity here as a volunteer, and part of the way that you pay that back is during these pledge drives here. Pledge Drive is not an opportunity to just do your same old show and throw a phone number or a website out. Pledge Drive is an opportunity for you to give back to KFAI, to flip that script and basically say, I'm here to raise funds to increase memberships for KFAI, and in the process, I'm going to show you some of the best programming that I can possibly do. So here's a couple things that just the short course, the obligations of KFAI program host. 1, show up for your pledge show. 2, arrange for a rap partner to be here. 3, understand how a pledge drive show differs from all the rest of the shows you do the other 48 weeks of the year. And also prepare your show content beforehand. Now I'm going to go over a couple of these things. Also want to tell you that there will be a quiz, a written quiz, asking you 2 questions about what we talked about during the course of this training, and so just be aware of that. So do pay attention. So first, show up for your show. There are always a handful of program hosts who don't get the message, no matter how much we publicize it. They show up and don't even know that there's a pledge drive going on. That one is not even occurring that day. Do not be one of these people. Do not be one of these people. Know a pledge drive is coming. Prepare for the pledge drive. Although these dates have been publicized for weeks, we know it's summer, and a lot of you are not going to be here, or some of you won't be here. I mean, we understand that. That's human nature. But this does not give you a pass on pledge drive. That show, your show, has to be a pledge show. There's no way around it. So if you can't be here, you have 2 options. 1, record a pledge show ahead of time, and we will assist on that. 2, your substitute hosts, they have to pledge rap for you. Now, some people even will phone in their pledge raps. That's a great idea too. That brings the personal in, because as we know, the listeners are attached to you. You're the celebrity. You, the program host, are a mini celebrity, and you should try to leverage that because they're pledging to your show. Why? Because they enjoy your show and they listen to it on a weekly basis. So make that work for you. Again, all pre-recorded shows must include pledge raps. There are no exceptions. Also, arrange for a rap partner to assist you. A good rap partner is the most effective tool you can bring to your pledge rap toolbox. They function as your second brain. They can think about things while you're queuing up your music or preparing a guest or whatever. They can help you with ideas during underwriting breaks or during the course of sets. One of the big roles that your pledge rap partner can play is they're the stand-in for your biggest fan. I mean, they allow you to say, what a great show you had. Hey, I remember that show 2 or 3 weeks ago when you played this, or you said this, or you had that guest on. I mean, no matter where we are, we could be from Shakopee or from Somalia, but we're Minnesotans. We have a hard time, unless you're Ron Gerber from Crap in the Past, Ron, to play up our own shows. That is the purpose of your rap partner. They are your fan. So make use of that and make it known to them. That is what their purpose is. They is to say, remind you about the things they love about your show, because your listeners, they can't. All your listeners can do is call the phone number or go to the website. We are requiring, not suggesting, requiring a pledge rap partner on every single show. Do not show up without a pledge rap partner. If you are unlucky enough to have your pledge rap partner get sick or have a flat tire on the morning of your pledge show, you need to find another pledge rap partner. Now, you could possibly pull them from the phone room. You could find another program host, a volunteer, a listener who's wandering around. That's all right. Our pledge producers will be available to pledge rap. But do not count on that. Arrange beforehand and bring your own pledge rap partner. It is required. Understand how a pledge rap show is different from the rest of the shows you do during the rest of the year. For 48 weeks out of the year, you do whatever in heck that you want to do. No one tells you what you do on your show. News, community affairs, music, it's up to you. We have 2, perhaps 3 pledge drives per year. Those weeks, they belong to KFAI. In those weeks, we flip that script and we say, what's most important? In pledge drive weeks, it's fundraising for KFAI, raising sustaining members for KFAI. That is job 1. We asked you to talk about KFAI. Why you're a volunteer? How did you get engaged with KFAI? What have you seen on KFAI that moved you? Just tell your story, because your story is many person's story. People are interested not in, hey, we have 13 languages and such. That may be important in some areas, but don't rely on that. Talk about your story, how you got involved in KFAI, how your rap partner did, what listeners have had to say about your show. Make it about you, because yours is the only show. The people you're talking to are the only ones that we know with 100% certainty are going to listen to any show on KFAI in this particular week, in this particular pledge drive. They like you, they listen to you, they seek you out, they respect you, and they are your responsibility. And so you should take advantage of this. Take advantage in a good way. Explain to them why KFAI is so important, and explain to them why it's so important that they become a member or make a contribution to KFAI. All right, here's another thing. Prepare your show content beforehand. Don't be winging it. If you do a music show, plan on 10 to 12 minute sets. Short sets, not long sets. And that's maximum. One good reason is that the more breaks you have, the more opportunities you have to do your short, pithy rap breaks. We also, it comes to reason. Play your best stuff. Go back over your playlist for the recent months. Find the best stuff. Find the things that engaged the listeners. Find the things that inspired you. Find those highlights from your show. This isn't the time to say I'm going to play all new stuff, unless you know that all new stuff is really going to galvanize people. And if they like the show, they're all the more likely to go to the website and pledge, to call the phones and pledge. even if you, and I want to stress this part here, it's really important that even if you normally do lengthy back announces, the history of this particular label going in great detail, that may well be one of the main selling points of your show. But the pledge drive is not the point, is not the place for that. Why is that? It's because the more you talk about other things, the more that you lose track, and the listener loses track of the purpose of why you are there that particular day, and that is to say, to fundraise for KFAI. So hold off on those long historical diatribes or off-topic comments, but save those for the next week when it's not pledge drive. But basically, what you should be talking about during those breaks is KFAI. And remember also that you're constantly trying to energize the listener. I mean, it's common sense. I think we all know that if we're energized, we're more likely to do something. So it's going to be your call about what you play in music. But generally, a more up-tempo stuff is going to work better than a sorrowful ballad in bringing people to the phones. Bring that level up, and you'll see more success on the phones and on the website. But let's not leave out the community affairs or the public affairs and the interview programs, because that's an important component too. You hosts have a particular an additional challenge in this, and that is because you have a guest in there. So I have to tell you, ideally, you would not even have a guest in there. Ideally, you would record a best of previous shows, 10, 12-minute excerpts at a time of the interviews of the authors or the community affairs individuals or the politicians or the health experts that you have had in your show. You would record that snippet, 10, 12 minutes. Wow, that's great. And then it's back to you live. Do your pledge rap. Come back in, play that 10 or 12 minute recording. That is ideal. Why is that ideal? Because you totally control that hour on the air. When you have a live person in the air as a guest who's not a KFAI volunteer, they may or may not hook up with the idea that this is community radio. This is the pledge drive. It's important that we talk about this. Many shows, that information just goes right by the wayside. Those people are there to sell something, and that's fine, except they have to know that they are kind of playing second fiddle, to use an old term, on this particular show. So you should not be bashful about, in fact, you have to tell them ahead of time. This is a pledge show. We'll be breaking in about every 10, 12 minutes to do a pledge rap, and then we'll get back to you and talk about your particular area of expertise. So it's not being impolite if you tell them ahead of time. And what is impolite is it's impolite to KFAI if we have individuals who who ignore the fact that it's pledge drive because they think they have some reason to ignore it. That goes for music. That goes for anything. So please, do make every effort. Well, and every effort is the only effort. You are there. Pledge drive is for raising funds, talking about KFAI. So incorporate your interviews with your guest live or recorded as any music person would. 10 or 12 minutes, stop, pledge rap, and pick up again. So having a guest in the studio does not excuse you from having pledge breaks. We would prefer that your guest be fully engaged with the pledge rapping. We've had many examples of hosts that have been. But if not, just let them know very politely and ahead of time that they have to make room for these breaks. So let's talk about what's special about Summer Pledge Drive. Well, it's 1 week long and it's in the summer. Okay, breaking new ground at KFAI. The emphasis this time, and this is important for you to know, will be on the website and then the phone. Normally, we've changed those positions. We are putting a heavy emphasis on the website. We will have the phone room staffed between 6 a.m. and 8 p.m. every day. During those times, we will give the website, kfai.org, and the phone number, 612-375-9030. After 8 o'clock, or if there's no one answering the phones, we will just give the website. And again, I want to emphasize, we will be pushing people to pledge on the website. If they call in here, our phone answers will use the exact same interface that the folks out in the real world are using. And it will be, by the way, it will be a significantly simpler interface than the one that we used for the Spring Pledge Drive, which, if you've used it, you'll know is a move to the good. Here's something else that you may like. There will be no posted tallies, show tallies at the end of the drive. That we're taking a break from that this time. But what we are doing is we're putting an emphasis on daily goals. What we want to see is Tuesday giving its all for Tuesday. We would like to see the program hosts at 2 o'clock, perhaps coming in at 1 o'clock to either answer some phones or to come in and pledge wrap with the previous show. And the host from 2 to 4, we would love to see that one or two of those hosts stick around for 30 or 45 minutes on the show afterward, the one that comes in between 4 and 6. So there's some continuity, some handoff, some idea of the KFAI camaraderie community that we talk about, but sometimes we end up being very kind of insular and such. So to the extent that we can, we still want you. It's important. Your show must be the best show you can do, and we want you to get the maximum number of pledges and the dollar amounts for your show. But when push comes to shove, we want to see the biggest tallies for the day. So we ask you, the highly valued program hosts, to give it your all and make sure that day, your day, is everything that you can make it to be. We have our own goal. We're not even publicizing the goal, but what we're going to do is on each day, people will be told, there'll be like a countdown, 3 days to go, 2 days to go. That will be one of the ways that we use to kind of incite people that there's only a limited amount of time left. So we're not going to do a countdown toward like, oh, we're X number of thousands of dollars short of our goal. We're not going to be doing that. We're trying to leverage everything so that everybody can feel good about where we are at that time, and so there we are. There will be only one primary premium during this show. It's a brand new beach tote bag, bigger than the record tote that we have had previously. New design on it. Don't know what the level is going to be yet. It'll be determined. $100 probably. But that is the single tote. So we won't be giving away T-shirts. We won't be giving away stocking caps. We might have a new set of socks. So keep that in mind. But we're simplifying this. If you have your own gifts, books, CDs, you are still welcome to give those out. Just coordinate with Crystal well prior to the drive. And also, we will be cutting back on the snacks. There won't be a big refrigerator. There'll be a small refrigerator in the phone room, and we will have hot food or sandwiches brought in every day. Lydia will be bringing her chili in on one day, so we won't be forgetting about you. We're going to make a special effort for the Sunday program hosts and such, so they have some good appropriate food in there. So we are making that effort, but it is going to be scaled back. You won't see bags of popcorn piled up to the ceiling in the phone room. Okay, let's talk about best practices for pledge wraps. First of all, you don't have to convince people that KFAI is a great thing. I mean, they already know that. They are listening, and that's part of it. But we do need to talk to them about to bring them over that extra step, which is to say, a lot of people say, "Oh, I really love KFAI. I listen to KFAI all the time." But to get them to be that 10% of listeners who actively contribute to KFAI, that's the nut. That's the what our goal is here, and that 10%, that's like an important figure and such. So that goes across most like public radio and public television figures. So we want to aim for that. We want to aim for that number. Our sustaining members are vitally important to KFAI because the sustaining membership, it's about $14,000 every month comes from people who have sustaining memberships who give X number of dollars, $8 a month, $10. $25 a month. Give that amount, and that levels out the hills and valleys of our income. So knowing that $13,000, $14,000, $15,000 is coming in every single month is a huge help to us. And so we want to, and once people become a member, they tend to stay a member. So that is why we want to push the membership. And our radio, our phone people can explain this. You don't have to go into great detail about that. Not about levels and such. That tends to get kind of boring. You want to talk about the big picture of KFAI, the big picture of KFAI, and the big picture about your particular show. So you drive them to the website. You drive them to the phones, and the rest will take care of itself. Something that we talked about about pledge wrap partners and why they're important. Not only for a single, if you're a single host, but also if you and you definitely need a pledge wrap partner. But perhaps you have you have a co-host, so two of you are normally on the air. You still benefit from having an additional wrap partner in there. And why is that? That is because they bring a freshness to your show. They tell people, hey, other people are listening. They bring a new perspective. And again, as we talked about with a single host, they can say, what a great show you have. They can talk about it from an outsider status. They can talk about in a way that you might feel self-conscious about. So make use of that person. However, one huge caveat for having 3 people in there is only 2 people talk at a time. Once 2 people have finished a rap, if the third person pipes up with, hey, I've got an idea, then your rap is going not for 3 minutes or 4 minutes. It could go 5, 6, 7 minutes. Sometimes it's like a passing the baton, and a rap can go on forever. Don't do that. Don't be that group of people. You can swap back and forth. The person at the engineer can talk with one. At the next break, he can talk with the other, or the other 2 can talk between themselves. So 2 voices maximum in any break. Also, it's really helps to write down your pledge wrap ideas. First of all, do it beforehand. Do it before the show. Then you have a list of things you can work through. And what actually works extremely well is then, and we highly recommend, is that during your music break or underwriting break, you talk. Just say, well, let's talk about the live shows that I bring in. Let's talk about the shows that we've sponsored over at the Hook and Ladder or at Palmer's or something like this. Let's talk about your experience. How did you get involved in KFAI? Agree on that, and then when you come on, give the website. Go to kfai.org or the phone or call 612-375-9030. Then start your rap, but stay with that rap. And then keep that rap, keep it short, succinct. If you can sell an idea, and that's why it's important to support community radio like KFAI Fresh Air Community Radio. Then come right back and give them the website again. Now go to kfai.org or call 612-375-9030. We like to call it the pledge wrap sandwich, where at the beginning, the very first thing, you don't talk and then decide that you're going to give the phone number. You give the website and the phone number, give your rap, and then at the end, where it's important, give the website and the phone number. It's the sandwich. Either side, with your rap, the meaty goodness in between. And sometimes if you don't write it down, you have a great rap idea, and then once that mic goes on, you forget about it altogether, blowing right past. Okay, so you're on to another rap. And then halfway through, it occurs to you, I remember what we're going to talk about. Then it extends into another rap. No, save that idea. Commit that idea to memory and use that on your next rap. So keep everything. Website, phone number, brief rap, make a point. Sell KFAI, sell your show, and then website, phone number. Out the door, back to your music, back to your guest. One thing that's really helpful is to listen to other KFAI shows. It's hugely inspiring to listen to what other KFAI programmers, the way they sell KFAI, the way that they come up with ideas to talk about membership, the way they talk about their own private experiences about that got them involved in KFAI. You are free to steal any idea that you hear, cannibalize it, whatever you want to do, modify it, chop channel it. It doesn't matter, but go with that. Steal any idea you can get, and utilize it during your own show. We highly recommend this. If it also is very inspiring just to get the feel of it. If you come in, have not listened to 3 days, you're in the third or fourth day of pledge drive, have not listened to KFAI's pledge show, you're kind of like you're not in the zone. You need to get in the zone. So please, I strongly recommend that you listen to KFAI programming in the days prior to your own pledge show. We talked about emphasizing. I believe we talked about emphasizing just 1 point per break, avoiding detours and digressions and such. Stay to the point. I know sometimes we want to go off and talk about the things that we would normally talk about. Don't do it, and do not give out other people's websites, other people's phone numbers. The only website that exists is KFAI.org. The only phone number that exists is 612-375-9030, the pledge number. That's it. We do not want to hear other people's promotions or promoting their websites or the phone numbers. It's just too confusing. You have one job, so please stick to it. And we talked about sustaining memberships. I'm not going to go over that again. Very briefly, what doesn't work? Whining and begging, that doesn't work. Never say, nobody's calling. Lots of reasons people might not call. If you're doing your best, if you're making the effort, we'll totally understand. There's no problem, but you got to be trying. But if you're making the effort, there's all kinds of things that could happen. Whether it's the weather, they're pledging, they've already pledged, whatever. But make the effort, and you'll be good. But just do not acknowledge, just like we don't acknowledge, supposedly, mechanical problems on the air. Do not start saying nobody is calling. It's unseemly. What doesn't work? Way too long pledge breaks. 7 to 8 minute pledge breaks. Boring, and people just tune out. Don't do it. Keep it short. Pledge wrap sandwich, remember. Unfocused pledge wraps. Bring an idea. Stick with it. Pledge wrap sandwich, remember. Huge thing. I don't know how many times I've heard excellent pledge wraps, inspiring pledge wraps, and the host neglected to give the website or the phone number. Don't do that. That's why beginning every set, we got your website and phone number. You begin that way automatically. There's no other words. It's just you begin that way. And then you do all your talking. You do your break. And then you end with the website and the phone number. If you stay to that, you will never have to worry about forgetting. So with that, I think we're going to wrap up this presentation on pledge wrap training for the KFAI's 2019 Summer Pledge Drive. I did want to bring this up here because I read this and I thought it was quite inspiring. For 41 years, KFAI has been the voice of the community. Our station has been and continues to be the Twin Cities source for adventurous and innovative news, music, arts, and public affairs. The history of KFAI lives within the thousands of volunteers who have given their time and talents over the years, those who have been here for 30 years and those who have just showed up 30 days ago. Please do your part to see this station survives and thrives into the coming year. KFAI Summer Pledge Drive begins July 31st and ends on August 6th. We will see you here. And remember the theme, KFAI, keep it going. Thank you very much, KFAI volunteers.